Hey there, everyone, and welcome to Golf Live this Tuesday afternoon. I'm Ryan Aselta. We've got a fun show lined up for you today. The legendary Gary Player surprises some unsuspecting golfers at Chelsea Piers driving range right here in New York City. You don't want to miss that. It's really good stuff. Plus, our own Jessica Marksbury sits down for a round with world number 3 Lexi Thompson. And SI senior writer Michael Bamberger is back with another edition of Pitch and Run. But first, the 2017-18 PGA Tour season got underway this past weekend in Napa with Brendan Steele repeating as the Safeway Open champion. Happy to be joined today by Golf.com's Jeff Ritter and former SI and ESPN golf writer Pharrell Evans. And guys, we quickly went from the President's Cup to week 1 of the new season, the start of the year, Jeff. Not a lot of fanfare. What's your thoughts, guys, on this wraparound schedule? All of a sudden, it was here and off we go.
I mean, I feel like we kind of make the same jokes every year about golf's lack of an off season, and here we are again. We've just come off this high of a team event. It wasn't the closest team event, but it was exciting and it was a nice cap to the season. And then for a lot of these guys, they don't even catch their breath. I mean, Phil Mickelson's on a plane out to Napa, plays in the event last week, and now the tour moves to Malaysia. So this is what golf is. They go where the money is. They have the sponsors to do it. I personally think the sport could benefit from more of an off-season, make people miss it a little bit. Then you get re-energized and get excited for it again. I would still like to see a break.
Pharrell, what do you think? Is this just all about the dollar here?
I try to look at it from the vantage point of the typical average player who wants as many opportunities as he can to play events and earn a living. And the sponsors, if you're going to have sponsorship that's behind it, let's do it. And let's give these guys more opportunities to make money.
Yeah, because guys are going to play if they have the opportunity, and the tour's going to take the money if they have the sponsor. CIMB Classic this week in Malaysia. Pharrell, Justin Thomas, 2-time defending champ. He's going to kick off his new season over there in Kuala Lumpur. What are you expecting of JT? More of the same, coming off a Player of the Year, a major championship, 5 wins. Can he keep up this pace?
Absolutely, and I think he's going to be playing with a little bit of chip on his shoulder because in his mind, he's the best player in the world. And he's already separated himself in his mind. And I think he's got something to prove. And I think this will be that launching pad to seeing what we're going to see in this 2017-18 season.
I don't know. I think if there was such a thing as a Malaysian Golf Hall of Fame, I like Justin Thomas's chances of making that as a 2-time winner. But he's coming off a career year, and certainly he's riding a wave of momentum right now, but I think over the long haul of a season, you're talking about a guy who's coming off of 5 wins. I would take the under on 5 wins in this season coming up. Probably take the under on 3, just law of averages. And also the fact his life has changed. He has a faster golf swing than the average player. Sometimes those can go out of sorts a little bit faster than other guys. So take nothing away from Justin Thomas. He's here to stay. Malaysian Golf Hall of Famer. Yeah. But I would just maybe slow down a little bit with, crowning him the next Player of the Year at the same time.
Yeah, you wonder if that little bit of a downturn is going to come at some point. Dealing with a new fame, Player of the Year, a lot for him to deal with. He's going to the other side of the world to start off his season this week. 49 FedEx Cup events on the schedule, Jeff. Look at that big picture. What are you most looking forward to this coming season on the PGA Tour?
We got 3 weeks off. How did we leave 3 weeks open? I always, when I start a season, for me, it all starts with the Masters. And you can start the Masters countdown right now with how guys will begin, how they go through this off season, if you want to call it that, and how they begin their preparations, building to the Florida swing, which builds to the Masters. There's so many news stories, new stars that have emerged, starting with Justin Thomas, of course, but you look at a guy like Rory McIlroy, who once again will chase the career Grand Slam in Augusta. Where is he right now? How will he get himself ready to get there? Phil Mickelson always has a way of being relevant every time Masters Week comes around. Will Tiger play this year? We know Tiger's building towards, he's out there building towards something. So for me, what am I most looking forward to? There's a lot of fun stops along the way, but there's that Masters countdown clock that I think we now activate starting this week.
What about you, Pharrell?
Well, I want to see who's going to become the dominant player. I mean, I covered Tiger for many years, and I love that every week, that I could start my Monday thinking Tiger is the best player in the world, and he's going to win if he tees it off on Thursday. And right now, I'm looking at Justin Thomas, I'm looking at Jordan Spieth, I'm looking at Jason Day when he's healthy. I'm looking at Rory. I want to see a guy. I want my 75-year-old aunt to be excited again about a guy like that guy, that special guy. And right now we've got a lot of great players, but I want to see who's going to step out and say, I'm the best. I want Patrick Reed to say, like he said a few years ago, I'm a top 5 player.
Right.
I want him to say, I'm the best player and go out and prove it. Right now, everything is cool and fun and everybody's happy, but I want somebody to step out and dominate.
You guys both mentioned Rory. I'm looking forward to the return of Rory McIlroy. He hasn't won since last year's Tour Championship. He didn't even have a top 3 this year. He's got to get healthy, get back to practicing. I think this offseason is going to do wonders for Rory because you talk about the guy who separates himself, Pharrell. I think talent-wise, it's this guy when he's healthy, when he's focused. I think Rory's just a step above the rest. Rookie of the Year, Xander Schauffele is going to tee it up this week as well at the CIMB. He's coming off a great finish, wins the Tour Championship. How about young guys on tour, newcomers? Who are you looking forward to seeing this year?
Well, he's not exactly young. He's 28 years old, but Peter Uihlein, who played 5-6 years on a European tour. He's not your classical rookie, but he's had a lot of success around the world, and he's coming here. He's played with all these kids in college and amateur golf, and I see him as a player who has a game. He won in Columbus in the Web.com final. So I'm looking for Peter Uihlein to be that player to sort of separate himself from the other rookies. Yeah,
interesting approach. He went over to Europe, really got his feet wet there, has quite the track record, Jeff. He's a guy who's got some serious game.
He's kind of taking the Brooks Koepka route. Yeah. He could have tried to grind it out on the Web.com earlier in his career, but went off to Europe instead and had a great start. Really, only injuries have slowed him down. I mean, the reason he was Rookie of the Year on the European Tour 5 years ago, and now it's just kind of coming full circle where he went through the Web.com qualifier and he's here now. But I think Pharrell's right. I think if you look at this rookie class, Uihlein's the guy, at least on paper, that you'd say is maybe a head above everybody else. There's another guy, though, I'd look at. Keith Mitchell is this young man from the University of Georgia. Hits the ball a mile, 321 is his average drive last year on the Web.com tour. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think long hitters fare well on the PGA Tour these days.
Where would you get that idea?
So just playing the numbers game, I would watch out for a bomber from the University of Georgia as well. Right. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a few of those out there as well.
Well, yeah.
So watch out for Keith Mitchell, but I would also have Uihlein as the top guy from this new class.
2 good picks. I like 2 guys who we saw last year at the 2016 NCAA Championships. They were stars Aaron Wise and Bo Hostler. Both got their tour cards. Wise won on the Web this year. Hostler finished second in that same event. I want to see those guys kind of go head-to-head and see who their career develops this year. Last thing, looking ahead, a long season ahead. Jeff, give me a bold prediction for the 17-18 season.
All right, I've got one. I don't know. You tell me how bold it is. But I think this is the year Jordan Spieth completes the career Grand Slam. I think last year a lot came at him quickly after the British Open. All of a sudden, he rolled in with a chance to do it at Quail Hollow. It was not a great course setup for him. That really was set up for a bomber type of golfer. Belle Reve, hasn't hosted a major in a long time, but Nick Price was your winner when it hosted in 1992. So Spieth hits it far enough, but he's not the bomber, I guess, of today's class of players. So I think with a year to get himself right and get himself ready for that test, I think this is the year he finishes the Grand Slam.
A quick Grand Slam completion by Spieth. I guess that's pretty bold. Pharrell, what do you got for bold prediction here?
Tiger plays in all 4 majors.
That's bold.
That is pretty bold, yeah.
Now he has to play the Masters first. So we're going to learn in January, February, March what kind of shape he's in. He hasn't hit a full golf shot yet by his account. But I think there's something still there. I keep saying it, but I think Tiger, he'll be 42. He'll turn 42 in late December. I think he's going to come out. He's going to be re-energized and a little. I think he has greater perspective, if that's possible for Tiger. And I feel like we're going to see Tiger play in all 4 majors. He might not play 15 events, 15 events, but I think he's exempt into the Masters. He's exempt into the Open Championship, exempt into the PGA. And I think he can play himself into the U.S. Open. but they don't give him an exemption.
You like those smooth irons that he showed us on video, I guess, this week, Pharrell. Bold prediction for me, Phil Mickelson wins this year. He ends the drought. He hasn't won since the 2013 British. He is trending. Played well at the Dell, played well at the President's Cup, played very well last week in Napa. Phil's going to get off the schneid. I think the fire was lit, having to really earn his way with a pick onto the President's Cup team. Something clicked. I think Phil wins this season. Jeff, Pharrell, thanks for being with us, guys. All right, still to come this Tuesday afternoon. We captured Hall of Fame golfer, legendary, international, well-renowned golfer Gary Player as he surprised some very unsuspecting golfers with a few tips at the Chelsea Piers driving range right here in New York City. But first, Brendan Steele kicked off the PGA Tour season by repeating at the Safeway Open. Here's Steele with a tip for getting some extra distance out of your fairway wood.
I'm Brendan Steele, Wilson Advisory Staff, and today I'm going to try to give you a tip for getting a little extra distance with a fairway wood. We've hit a nice drive on this par 5, but we can't quite get to the green, or we know we need our absolute best. So what do you do in that case? A lot of the time I see amateurs and pros alike trying to add a lot of speed from the top of their swing, and then by the time they get down to the ball, they've either gotten out of posture, or their path has gotten a little bit crooked, or they're just running out of speed. They don't get quite as good a strike on the ball. So what I like to see is really loading up in the backswing. I want to make sure that the speed's all coming from the ball and through. So we're going to have a really nice rhythm here, all the way down to the ball, and then really whip it through so that we don't get out of posture and hit it in the middle of the club face. That's how I get a little extra distance with my fairway woods.
Hi, I'm Gary Player. I'm here at Chelsea Piers driving range to help some unsuspecting golfers to make their game more enjoyable. How are you?
Okay. Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
How are you doing?
Good.
How's your golf?
Struggling.
Okay, let's have a look at your swing. What's your name?
I'm Jeff. Nice to meet you.
Jeff,
Gary.
nice to see you.
Pleasure.
Your grip's pretty good. In fact, a very good grip. Very good. That's important to start off with the right grip. You feel your balance? You feel it? Hit another one. Stand there and don't let me push you over. I weigh 152 pounds. You're a young, strong guy. Stop me from pushing you over.
Okay.
Now, if I want to push you over, I cannot push you over with my weight back here.
Yeah.
So you're hanging back. So you lose all your power. Hold it. Ah, what an improvement, man. Now, here's some young guys. Let's give them a test. I'll buy them 5 dozen balls or any putter they like if they can do this, okay?
Do it.
2 fingers in there. Ah, hold it out like that. Only 2, no thumbs, look at that. No thumbs, 2 fingers. Cha, come on. Get a good grip, okay. Don't touch it. You ready?
No.
What do you mean no? You ready?
Yeah.
The secret is you practice that since you're a young boy. Okay, don't worry about the ball. We're not interested in the shot. Just rotate onto your left side. Oh my goodness me. Have you ever hit a ball like that in your life?
That's a good shot.
That went so straight I had to lean over sideways to see the flag. I don't know how many pros would be prepared to go to a driving range and just pick out the average golfer who plays golf. And I've come here and it's been a real joy for me. You know, I really appreciate the support of the fans around the world. So it's really nice for me to come here and do something that I really haven't done in years.
I'm Jess Marksbury for Golf.com, and today it is my privilege to enjoy a round with the one and only Lexi Thompson.
Hi,
Lexi, I've been looking forward to this for a long time. Cheers to you.
Cheers.
And thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
I would say let's have a sip, but I kind of want a big gulp of this one.
We'll take a moment. It's good.
Okay, you're a girl after my own heart. A strawberry mojito.
I'm more of a fruity drinker, so it's not as strong. And I usually have them frozen, but in Florida it wouldn't stay frozen for too long.
Yeah, tell me about some of the things that you get to do with your friends. Like, who are you hanging out with when you're here at home? Are they, I know since you grew up here in Florida, are they friends from your younger years?
Yeah, well, one of my good friends is J. Marie Green, and I grew up playing golf with her and around her, but she plays on tour as well now, so we get to hang out quite a bit when we get those off weeks that we rarely get. I also have a few friends that don't golf that I just like to, just hang out, be a normal person instead of having the tour life.
Now, before we started in on these mojitos, we were talking a little bit about shopping, and you mentioned a love of TJ Maxx, which I find just so awesome because who doesn't love TJ Maxx?
Yep.
Is that something that you can enjoy doing on your off time too?
Well, I'm not a big shopper, so I don't know like the big old brands. Actually, when I'm usually on the road, my mom does a lot of my shopping, so I come back and she's like, oh, try this on and try that.
You have a personal shopper.
Yeah, I
in your
know,
mom.
right? It can't get much better than that.
That's awesome.
I usually only like to go shopping if I'm on a mission to get something. I don't like to just go and browse.
But you always look so great.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you're awesome at the art of the selfie. I've never ever been able to take a good selfie. What is the key?
Good lighting. If I take one in my room and it's light out, I'll just like open up the blinds to get that natural light.
Talk a little bit about your season. Obviously, a tough start at the ANA, something that nobody should have to go through, but you handled it so well, given the circumstances. When you look back now, was there any silver lining to that situation?
Just going through that, I realized how strong of a person I am. I wouldn't have been able to make it through that day if it wasn't for the fans. Those fans helped me get through those last 5-6 holes, and they pulled me through, and I've just become a lot stronger of a person on and off the golf course, and how, I progressed after that in my tournaments. I've played very well since then. I've gotten a lot of second place finishes, and I've won at Kingsmill. And
I want to mention that. Okay, that was less than 2 months after the ANA you won at Kingsmill, and as you said, you've had several runner-up finishes in the season since then. Lexi, you're all the way to number 2 in the world, a career high for you. What's been going on in your game?
I think it's just really about all the work that I've put into it in the off season, and then when I do have these off weeks, I'm just nonstop working on my game, trying to improve things I need to improve on. And I think that's something that's helped me out a lot. I've been making a lot more putts and just believing in myself a lot more.
Well, we're right at the tail end of the Solheim Cup, which was an unbelievable week for you. I have to say, watching you team with Christy Kerr, you guys, for the past several years now in international team events, you haven't lost, Lexi. You're on a streak. It's incredible. And Christy Kerr is actually, she's more on fire playing with you than I think I've ever seen her as an individual.
Yeah, I would say that we're partners for life now. Ever since International Crown and then Solheim a few years ago, we've been partners, and I don't think that'll ever change now. It's something that we bring out in each other. We're very determined people. When we're struggling, we never give up. And we're there for each other, and that's what all team events are about. We just enjoy each other's games, and she's an animal out on the golf course. If I give her a birdie opportunity, she's making it. She's walking that putt in. I feel more confident with her putting than myself putting and having to make a putt. It's a lot more calming for me.
Well, speaking of never giving up, we have to talk about your singles match because holy cow, what a difference of 2 nines.
Yeah.
Seemed like nothing was going right on your front 9. And let me see if I can do this math. 8 under par for your last 7 holes. That doesn't seem to add up, and yet that's exactly what happened for you. You halved your match.
Yeah, it was pretty unbelievable. I don't even know what happened. My warm-up went well and everything. I was feeling good, and then, I struggled a bit on the first hole. I missed a little putt, and that never really starts a round off very well. But I don't really know what was going on. I just needed to wake up, I guess, and get a few hugs from Julie Inkster and Nancy Lopez.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I think Julie hugged you more than anyone else.
Right.
Every time the camera was on you, I saw you getting some love from Julie.
I'll take any hugs I can get, especially from Julie. It was a crazy day. It was a crazy emotional day, but my caddy, Kevin, helped me out tremendously. He was like, you can do this. You can birdie every hole coming in, and let's just go all in. We have nothing to lose now. We're 4 down through 9. Just go after it.
Well, you're so young, you've accomplished so much. It seems as though, you should be like 35 right now, given the experience that you've had on tour, and yet you're not. You're still in your early 20s.
Yep.
Going forward, tell us about some goals that you have in mind.
Yeah, ranking is not something I really try to focus on because then I'll just drive myself crazy. I'm just trying to be the best player that I can be on and off the golf course, best person I can be. You know, every time I tee it up, I want to win. That's my number one goal, is to win that tournament. Anytime I can represent my country, like at Solheim, International Crown, or the Olympics in 4 years in Tokyo, that's my goal. But long term, hopefully be in the Hall of Fame. That's definitely one of my goals.
Well, I would say you're well on your way. Lexi Thompson, cheers to you. Thank you so very much for your time today. It's a real pleasure and an honor to speak with you.
Thank you very
great
much.
drink choice, too.
Yes.
Have another guzzle here.
Oh yeah, why not?
All of our golf ball plants are 3 golf ball manufacturing sites. We make over 1 million golf balls a day. 3 things come together that make the secret sauce, if you will. We've got product, we have process, and we have people. And those are the 3 key ingredients.
52 years. I've been here all my life, practically 19 years old, you know.
51 years. I got another 51 years. We're going to be 70 in September.
38. Everybody realizes if you find a good company, you stick with it. It's also a lifesaver. I've always been a little afraid of dentists. I went to a new dentist, and I told him, be as pain-free as possible. I'll get him a dozen golf balls.
We get really excited naturally when we have tour players come through. That is an opportunity for our people to connect with the best players in the world.
The rubber is still malleable. It's at to start any chemical reaction.
So what's the range and weight that you need? Does it have to be exact? I'm just a guy who hits this thing for a living, and we kind of take it for granted that there's people, you know, that are a lot smarter than me that are making this, trying to make it as easy as they can for me and all the other guys that play on tour to, you know, try to be the best players that we can be.
You got people that are very comfortable with the company that they work for in terms of that company having their interest in mind. And so when we need something done, our workforce rises to the occasion. I tell my people all the time, I've got the best team in the golf ball business.
Today at Pitch and Run, we're going to talk with Don Tempty from Certified Cigar. Don, great to see you. Thanks for having us. What do you guys do?
We custom package and individually package premium cigars, name brand cigars for golf shops, casinos across the country.
How does smoking a cigar while playing improves one performance?
It's a relaxing effect to sit back and smoke a premium cigar, feel good about yourself, just kind of calm down, smooth it out while you're swinging the clubs.
Do you feel that in the Trump years, we will have a resurgence of cigar smoking on golf courses?
Well, I would certainly hope so. I mean, as far as our business goes, that would be wonderful. And of course, we've got new relations now with Cuba, and we'll see what goes with that. Hopefully we can get some Cuban cigars in here as well. And as soon as they're with us, we'll have them.
All right, Don, thanks very much for all of that. This is Michael Bamberger with Sports Illustrated, and that wraps another episode of Pitch and Run. Thanks for watching.
All right, it's time now for our Golf Live Pick segment. Ryan Aselta alongside Sean Zock, and the PGA Tour heads to Malaysia this week for the CIMB Classic. Justin Thomas has won the last 2 editions of this event, Sean. So right off the top, we're going to give you the disclaimer. We both like JT this week in Kuala Lumpur. As for the rest of the field, though, Sean, who do you like this week?
I like Emiliano Grillo. The guy played really well last week, was in contention through 3 rounds. He's a great ball striker, a lot like JT in that realm. So I kind of like what he's been doing lately. He's been making cuts. You got to like him at least a little bit.
Yeah, all right, Grillo coming off a good start at the Safeway as well. Speaking of ball strikers, I like Paul Casey this week. Top 5s in 4 of his last 6 events. This is a guy who gets the ball from the fairway to the green. His percentage was 3rd on tour last year in greens and regulation. Last year, JT hit 77% of his greens and regulation at this event. That's Casey's specialty. I like Casey to finally break through with the win. All right, how about a value pick this week, Sean? Who you got?
I like James Hahn. He's a hit or miss guy. We've known James Hahn to miss 6 cuts in a row and then all of a sudden win a tournament. He hasn't played that great of golf lately, but he's played great golf here. He's peaked at this course before top 10s the last 2 years here. So I think what he's doing at this course works for him. And I think if it works for him, it's going to work for me.
All right, I'm going with Anirban Lahiri. T3 last year after having a 4-stroke lead on Sunday. He blew that lead, one of the biggest blown leads in the PGA Tour season last year, though. He's playing pretty well. T9 at the BMW. One of the lone bright spots, really, for the internationals at the President's Cup. He went 1-1-1. Looking for a little value, middle of that pick section on your sheet. I'm going with Lahiri. A lot of guys who probably don't like this week as well. Sean, who are you staying away from this week?
Yeah, it's a weird time of year, but I don't think Thomas Pieters is going to have a great week. He's kind of like Justin Thomas light. He plays a game a lot like JT, but he just hasn't been playing good golf. He's got one top 40 in his last 7 starts, kind of dating back to July. So the guy just has not been performing very well. You can't really count on him to make a bunch of birdies.
JT light.
Yeah.
I like that, Sean. Very nice. I'm staying away from Brandon Grace this week. This guy's got to run out of gas at some point here. He missed 2 of his last 4 stroke play events, the cuts for those events. He goes to the President's Cup, plays in all 5 of the day's matches. He goes 1-2-2. I was at a Pro-Am with him last Monday. All of a sudden, he's in the Dunhill last week over in Scotland. He finishes 47th. Now he's in Malaysia. I say stay away from Brandon Grace this week. Thanks, Sean. CIMB Classic gets underway Thursday morning in Kuala Lumpur. All right, that's going to do it for this week's edition of Golf Live and our final show of the 2017 season. Special thanks to all the folks who worked very, very hard on this year's show, especially Mary Agnat, Lucas O'Neill, and John Sodaro. We're going to be back with you in the new year, but until then, be sure to stick with Golf.com for all of your golf coverage, including our PGA Tour picks and Tour Confidential each and every week. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.